Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are, maybe watching from the world. My name is Steve Scott, and I'd like to welcome you to the webinar for Stop Losing Customers Searching Near Me. We're talking about getting more clicks, more calls, more customers, just in generally mastering the local search for near me searches. We've got some people coming on right now. Why don't we go ahead and get some of the preliminaries out of the way. For those that don't know me, my name is Steve Scott. I am the owner and the director of training at the Tampa and the New York SEO Training Academies. You can find them at tampa-seo.com or at new-york-seo.com. I'm also the owner of the Steve Scott SEO All-Stars membership and training program. You can find out all about that at stevescottseo.com. Basically, we've got over 80 hours of content regarding all things SEO, digital marketing, local, keyword research, link building, technical SEO, on-site SEO, you name it. If it has to do with SEO, we talk about it, we teach it, we've got content. Check it out at stevescottseo.com. I'm also the vice president of the Search Engine Academy, the SEA. Search Engine Academy was the first official school that taught people how to do SEO way back, I think it was 2001, 2002. When it first got started, I became the VP of the Search Engine Academy much later on, and I am the chairman of the Search Engine Academy's Education Committee, which basically means that I create and develop a lot of the material that the rest of the instructors around the world use to teach their students. I've been a web strategist and an SEO consultant now for a long time. I've actually been in the SEO business since 1997, so it's over 25 years, coming up on 30 years of experience. Actually first started offering clients services in SEO back in 1997, and I've actually been training people in various ways on using a computer, a mouse even, Windows, Excel, Word, all that kind of stuff since back in 1990 when I graduated college and was working in Manhattan at all the big corporations there. I'm a certified master trainer with the Search Engine Academy, and I'm celebrating my 17th year teaching with the SEA and overall over 30 years of corporate training in general. We are recording today's session. We're actually live on YouTube right now, and if you would like to join us, you can just go to nearme.stevescottseo.com and you can join in right now and be able to ask some questions in our webinar chat or whatnot. But you could also ask questions live through YouTube, and our admin Sean will be helping get that information to me, so you can get some questions later on or during the session. So it will be okay to share this link when you get it. Again, it'll be live on YouTube for some time, so you can check it out there. But if we do happen to run over time answering any questions, or for any other reason you got to bail out, no worries. You can just check the recording for whatever you may have missed as we move forward. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. We've got lots to cover in today's agenda. We're going to be talking first of all, well, what are near me searches, right? I think you probably know about that, but just to kind of level set the playing field, we're going to get some basics there. We're going to talk about some user expectations, right? What users sort of expect now when they're doing a search for near me in Google and what they see in response to that. We are also going to get into some near me search trends. So there's been several different trends that have been going on. There's not a whole lot of recent data. Some of the data is a little bit older. We'll talk about some of the old and some of the new when we get there. And we'll talk about some of those near me search factors as well as some of those stats. And then we're going to get into all the strategies to optimize for those near me searches. There's a lot that we'll cover, so let's go ahead and jump in. First of all, what are near me searches, right? Well, they're just location-based search queries often take place by a user who enters into Google and is ready to make and able to make a purchase, right? You go typically when you type in the word near me, it's not really just about finding a specific place. It's really more about finding a specific thing in a specific area and in a specific period of time, right? Maybe you're looking for a restaurant that's open right now near you. Maybe you're looking for a movie that's playing near you. And Google can actually infer local intent even without the words near me or nearby or anything like that, just based on their location and their query. So if you were to go to Google, type in pressure washer or roofing contract, etc. on a phone, Google's going to assume that you're looking for a pressure washer or a roofing contractor near you. No, doesn't make a lot of sense, right? If you live in Tampa, to have a roofing contractor show up who is out in California. Makes no sense. So Google is inferring that. And users will often add a modifier to a term like pressure washing or roofing contractor, like near me or nearby or near you, and other variations of those. And we'll see some of those as well as we go through. Now, for these queries, right, Google typically shows local results, right? You're going to get the local pack with the map, maybe the local finder, which is on the map. Maybe you have 15, 20 different locations or Google business profiles that can be viewed on Maps itself. And basically, they're just matching nearby businesses to whatever the user needs are based on that search query. And the three main things that Google ranks these results on are relevance, which is how well the business matches that query that was entered, distance, right, how close you are proximity-wise to the user, and prominence, which is their overall reputation and authority. We'll get more involved with this in just a little bit, but those are the three basic ways that Google is ranking for your business for near me and other type searches as well. Accurate and complete Google business profiles are going to help you appear for these queries. We're getting into that as well. Here are some user expectations, all right? We have gotten so used to Google and the other engines, primarily Google, kind of giving us what we want, that we're not really thinking about it too much. We're expecting that the search technology, whether that be Google, Bing, or even some of the AI tools, right, to find places in their area where they can get what they need, right? So if you're looking for an auto repair store or auto repair shop, right, obviously you're going to want something that's near you because your auto is busted. You don't want to have to travel 50 miles to get your auto repaired, right? So the more informed shopper no longer has to waste a lot of time driving around town to multiple stores looking for something, right? Now we can kind of get there very easily with the help of Google and other technology. And so typically, you might associate a near me search with something like restaurants near me or gas station near me, but we're seeing growth in near me searches for very specific items as well, not just for the generic stuff, right? You're seeing cowboy boots near me, or where to get a manicure near me, or Tarragon near me. So we've gotten, again, used to the use of the words near me. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, even, people didn't really use near me. They put a city, they say in Tampa, or they put in a zip code, right? Now, because of our phone, mobile, all that great stuff, and the ability to kind of know where we are, Google is able to provide us with information near us based upon the search query itself, right? And that's actually from a Google tool. Here's a little trend, which is I thought was interesting. I really expect this is actually using Google Trends, using the term near me. It says over the last 10 years. And you can see that the word near me really grew significantly up to around, mid-August 2021. And it has definitely taken a bit of a dive a little bit, although it's sort of kind of hanging in this range right here. But what's also interesting is that all these other items have also sort of gone up and down. In particular, starting in 2024, we're seeing more of the nearby, near you, open now, to buy now, near me now. Again, this is straight out of Google Trends. You can go to Google Trends. I actually have a link down here. It'll pull open. Pull this over here. There we go. And you can see, like, this is the trend here. And if sometimes when things get a little too flat, like this green bar for to buy now is probably being flattened a bit because I have these other ones out there. Like nearby is actually a big one. I'll just go ahead and remove nearby for a minute. And you see the red one will go. Well, it now becomes open now. And you can take out, these little bit by little, remove them, add another one. I think you can put up to 5 at a time on there. This just gives you some basic information about how the trend is for that keyword over time. I always like using Google Trends just to get a sense of, how things are being searched for, what's sort of on the rise, what's important, what's valuable. But the bad thing about Google Trends is you don't really get any hard numbers, right? You don't know the number of searches. You just sort of see the trend in it going up or going down, or maybe it's seasonal for that matter. Those things also happen. You can see seasonality. You can even see things that are more along the lines of like weekly. I always enjoyed this one here. If you go to let me just duplicate that here. And if you put in a term like garage sales, right? Putting garage sales. I always like to find these trends that you can see this, right? So this is just for the past day. Let's go for like the past 12 months for argument's sake. And let me just go. No, I don't like that one. Let's go past 90 days. Yeah, there we go. And that's more of the trend I would expect to see, right? And notice that it falls a lot, right? It rises up on generally Fridays and Saturdays, because that's when people can go out and go on a garage sale, right? And it kind of falls off on Mondays. It's pretty consistent across the board. And it's just interesting to see these kinds of trends. And you can see trends seasonally. You can see trends, like, for example, if I typed in pool paint, for example, and take a look over the last 5 years, right? And again, you'd expect this, right? Summer months, as leading into summer, it's high for pool paint as the summer ends. It's low for pool paint, obviously December, January, unless you're in, let's say very warm climates, it's going to be at minimal. So I like Google Trends for the ability to do that, but it doesn't really give you any hard and fast numbers. Anyway, we talked about those three primary factors that Google is now focused in on for near me searches. The one is distance, which is the proximity to the searcher, right? So if someone is searching for, let's say, a pizza place, and they are across the street from a pizza shop, well, guess what? More than likely, that pizza shop is going to surface to the top of Google for that user because they are in very close proximity to the thing you're looking for, right? Wouldn't make a lot of sense to show a pizza place, 20 miles, 30 miles, 100 miles away from the customer if they want to get pizzas right now. So the closer that you are located to the customer when they do the search, the better chances you're going to have a ranking for that search. Second factor is relevance. This is matching the intent of the search, right? So the more relevant your business is to the customer's search query, well, the higher you're going to rank, which makes sense, right? So if a customer searches for Italian restaurants near me, well, Google's going to show you Italian restaurants. Maybe that pizza place will also show up if they classify themselves as an Italian restaurant, but you're probably not going to get like a Chili's or something along those, or Red Lobster, something like that, right? And then prominence. This is about the authority and the reputation of that site. This is a little bit different than the other two factors, right? It's easy to kind of measure distance that you are from where you're standing to where a restaurant is. It's also easy to understand, how relevant is what you're searching for to what we're providing. It's a little less, easy to understand or to kind of quantify your authority and your reputation. And so it's built a little differently. So while things like distance and relevancy are easier, no matter what you're searching for, Google's always going to aim to give you the best results. And so generally speaking, prominence comes about in a lot of ways with great reviews, brand authority, right? People knowing your brand name and your brand and your brand name. Those two things in particular will generally help you show up higher in search results, whether it's for near me or words related, to a search that is people looking for something that's close to them, right? So Google's inferring near me from the user's location and your business signals rather than your website containing those specific words. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter on your website. We're going to get into that in a minute, but we're really going to focus a bit more on Google business profiles first. So you're going to see more of those moments by communicating exactly what you do, where you do it, and why people trust you across your Google business profile and your websites rather than just by shoving near me everywhere on your web pages, okay? So again, you're going to win more by just really putting out great information about what you do, why you do it, why people trust you, and so on. Google's own documentation, I have a link to the Google support document. It explicitly frames local rankings around relevance, distance, and prominence, and emphasizes complete business info, verification, reviews, hours, and photos to improve visibility in those local results. So we're going to hit on all those things in a little bit more detail as we go through this. Now, things have changed, all right? So I did this class, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, about this time frame, and which is why we kind of revamped it and sort of put it out again, because there's been updates, right? Over the last few years, Google's vicinity local update, back with November, December 2021, it increased the weight of proximity and reduced the advantage of having keyword stuffed business names. And so a lot of people, and again, not that doesn't work anymore, we'll get into that in a minute, but people were stuffing keywords into the name of their business, even like naming their business really, really long tail names with all of the keywords or the word nearby or the word near me or the, whatever may be in it. And that was working for a long while. Still works, but it's just reduced the advantage of that. And this change tightened just how far you can rank from your main location and makes the local pack, the map area, kind of zoom in more than it did before, right? So if I were to go, let me go over to Google here. There we go. And if I were to type in, let's see here, where were we here? All right, so let's say we would type in AC repair. I'm going to say near me, or I'm going to actually say it, spell it out there. And we've got a couple of sponsor results up here. And then here's like the local listings, right? Well, look, I'm here and all of these are right next to me, right? So this is really zoomed in. it's not like if I zoomed out a little bit of this, right? If I click on that and I could zoom in a little bit, it's just not doing that, right? It's actually way zoomed in, and I can, zoom out by going to the map and checking it out there. But again, it's much more zoomed in. It's not so far back anymore. And again, it will depend upon the type of thing you're looking for. Like if I said something like, ice skating rink near me, there are not a whole lot of them in the Tampa Bay area. And so it does pull back a bit more, right? You can kind of clearly see that's primarily because there aren't that many, and they're in a very wide swath of area, right? All around the area. So it will pull back a little bit more. But the overall update of Vicinity really kind of tied things a little bit, right? And so from a practicality standpoint, it means that you'll need real local relevance around the searcher to appear, not just a generalized authority or a clever naming, right? By naming your site near me or something, which this will directly impact the near me's visibility across a city or across a region. It's actually from a great article on Sterling Sky. And they've got a bunch of additional URLs you can check out later if you want to get really under the, into the weeds here. But most recently, Google confirmed its local algorithm strengthened the openness signal. This came back, I think it was November-ish 2023 when this started up. Businesses that are currently open, physically open, according to their GBP and their website, when they are searched for, will tend to rank higher for non-navigational queries, right? Like air conditioner repair rather than a brand name. So if you're looking for a particular company name, whether you're open or not at the time, your listing might show. But if you are closed when someone does a search result or some search query, even if they put the near me in it, if you're actually closed and others are open, you may not rank as well or not at all when you're closed. And this is encouraging accurate hours management and timely coverage for after hours searches. We've actually even recommended to some of our home service businesses, especially those that, I have like a roofer, we have like an AC guy, and I'm like, look, man, when does your AC break, right? It's always going to break like on a Sunday at 2 in the morning, right? When no one's open, no one's around, and it's 98 degrees outside, right? Or, your roof starts leaking at 2 a.m. in the morning during a rainstorm, right? Well, you don't want to wait for someone to open. You want someone right now. And so we've been encouraging some of our clients to, get that 24-hour, open 24/7, but to actually have somebody answering calls, answering phones, not just having to leave it at a voicemail. Okay. A 2023-2024 Bright Local study, they also found that many of the categories rank on average higher when they're open, with fast food showing an average of 2.4 positions lifting lift, which is listing 24 hours doesn't inherently mean you're going to get some results out of or some benefits out of that. Things like movie theaters showed no effect, underscoring, and it's a real signal, but it's contextual. It kind of depends upon the situation. We have seen, in particular, not just in some client results, but we've even seen some of the tools out there. The tools that do, let's say, rank tracking on your local, if they're running at night, which is primarily when they might run. If you're looking or if you're doing a search for like a near me, and you do it at night, but you're not opened when it's run, it may not show you. And then if you go and actually run that same query during the day when you are opened in the same location, you show at the top. So you've got to be aware of this, because this could kind of throw off some of your reporting. And so just be really careful about what you're seeing there, as it could cause some issues. Okay. Now, near me searches, they're taking off, right? I just grabbed a few of my clients here. Like here's brewery on the right and movers near me. You can see the word near me is embedded in these searches. Lots of these impressions are being shown over time. So, and not just near me, you can look up near us, near you, nearby, open now. If you do a search, especially here in Google Search Console, you'll get a lot of this. And you can see this is movers and breweries. I've also got, I think the next page I've got, beach weddings, pressure washing, all with variations of near me. Now, you're not going to want to grab all these near me terms and shove them into your website. It doesn't make sense. You don't really want to do that. Google's not, the vicinity update and a few of the others, they really kind of pulled near me out from being a search term as part of a query to more of a location, right? Like, hey, I'm looking for something close by. And somebody says wedding venues, on their phone type wedding venues, more than likely they're looking for wedding venues near them. Whereas if they wanted something, in a destination wedding, they might say destination wedding venues in Hawaii or destination wedding venues in Florida, something like that. So why is this so important? Well, a couple stats, right? As I mentioned, some of these are a little bit older, but still pretty important. Almost a third of online consumers in the US are using the internet to search for local businesses on a daily basis. I'm sure you've all done it over the last week. You've looked for a local business somewhere near you. When searching for businesses, consumers use mapping applications 44% of the time. So we're looking at those maps, we're using them to help find us. Maybe we're in the car, we're on Google Maps or something, or Waze or something, we're kind of looking for something. We're using that as well to find what we're looking for. 30% of all mobile searches are related to location. 76% of people who search on their smartphone for something that's nearby will visit a business within a day. All right. So you want to be that, popping up, because again, that 3/4 of people that search will go visit a business within a single day. 28% of searches for something nearby result in a purchase. And 54% of smartphone users search for business hours, and 53% search for directions to a local store. So are you open? Where are you? Right? Those are important, which is why this openness factor has become a thing, right? If you're searching for something and you say you're 24/7, but you're actually not, someone goes to your store or goes to your place, you're not open, well, that can cause some problems. That can, maybe they get mad, they might report you or something, maybe leave a bad review, which could, in turn impact you. And about 45% of global shoppers buy online and then pick up in store. You've probably done that too. I know I have. A lot of us do that for groceries, or especially after COVID, right? There was a lot of the pickup stuff. Most of that went really well, so a lot of folks have kept it. I know I've kept my delivery from some different places since COVID, because it just made my life easier. I have to go park and shop and walk around, and let someone else do that, and I save my time doing other things, just waiting for it to arrive. Things like where to buy plus near me. Mobile queries have grown by over 200% from 2017 to 2019. Mobile searches for store open near me, like grocery store open near me, they've grown by over 250% from 2017 to 2019. I know these are the older ones, but again, you can see sort of that consistency is going on. Things changed. We have changed how we search for things, especially since we're using our mobile devices. We're talking more to them as well. Now, some of the newer ones here, with Google Maps, 2022 Google Maps searches for shopping near me increased globally by over 100%. That's from Google. But Google highlighted maps as a key discovery surface for nearby business info, right? People are using maps now as a way to discover, to surface that information. In 2024, in the US, there are about 5.9 million near me related keywords and roughly 800 million near me searches per month. So just searches in the US per month with near me, 800 million. That's a lot of people using that specific term, and of course qualifying it with whatever they're looking for near me, right? 2021 to 2024 trend is near me search queries are actually down. We saw that in our Google Trends report over the 4-year period, but still 46% of consumers say they regularly add near me to their queries, whether they're typing them in or talking to their mobile devices, right? And in 2024, local search frequency, about context for near me or nearby behavior, is that 80% of US consumers search online for local businesses weekly, and 32% do so daily. Again, I'm sure you've all done this as well. So in 2024, Google's local year in search highlights food near me open now as a notable query pattern across many US metros. People looking for food open near me now, right? So a lot of that's going on as well. Okay, so we got some basics out of the way. We understand what's going on, what Google's doing. So how can we optimize our GBP for these near me searches so we don't lose those customers, right? Well, obviously, you've got to claim, verify, update your GBP listing. You go to business.google.com and claim it if you haven't already done it. We're not here to get into how to claim and verify, update your listing. I'm assuming you already have a GBP listing. We have whole other classes on that. We did a masterclass last month on GBP. Make sure that you have yours set up, verified, updated, okay? Fill out your Google Business profile so it gets to 100% completion. And be certain that your name, your address, your phone number, and your URL are written and displayed properly. And according to some research, 68% of consumers will stop using a local business that has wrong information on their listing. So be aware that if you're screwing around a little bit here, changing things, and you're not where you say you are, or you're not open when you say you are, that could be a problem and people could bail on you. Now, your Google Business Profile categories are really, really important, okay? You want to make sure that you selected the proper GBP category. Proper primary category selection is critical for getting listed, all right? Now, Google updates those categories several times a year, so it's not like a one-time task, but you want to kind of go back every now and then and review to make sure that maybe something is new has come up that you offer, and make sure that you're aligned with the latest options available. So again, if you do multiple things, you can have secondary, tertiary, 4, 5, 6, 8 categories. Of course, you want that primary one to be your primary category. And then you also want to reevaluate seasonally as well. For example, during the summer months, we have an HVAC client. During the summer months, we tend to push AC repair or AC company, AC store, things like that with a AC contractor in the primary categories. But during the winter months, when it's a little colder, we kind of get more into the HVAC or the furnace repair. We kind of switch it up a little bit because people are now looking for, heater broken, heating not working. And then, of course, fill out all those secondary categories and their predefined services within them, right? This will help you expand on the queries that could trigger your listing and strengthens your appearance for those exact specific services that you perform. What about your descriptions in your Google Business Profile? Also really important, okay? You make sure that it's completely filled out, includes locations wherever it makes sense, right? Basically, it's going to be a concise summary of what the business does, its unique selling proposition, and the services that it offers, all while naturally weaving in any relevant local search terms. So you can type in the name of your city, what you do, where you are. I think you have 750 characters to do this in. And while you're not going to guarantee improved rankings by having a description, it could, depending on other factors, as well as the information that Google finds online about you, it can help you get those rankings that you're looking for, okay? One of the nice things about the Google Business Profile now as well is it offers an AI-generated description as a good starting point. And we have noticed that it's been pretty good, pretty accurate as well when we've tried to do some of this for some clients that very little or minimal descriptions. We really want to use as much of that 750 characters as possible, again, without just shoving words down people's throats. The goal is to really make a nice, concise summary of what you do, where you do it, what makes you unique, and weave in those local search terms where it makes sense, okay? I encourage you guys to check out the AI-generated description. Always copy and paste the old one before in case you want it. And of course, you don't have to use that particular tool. You can use any AI tool to kind of come up with a description for you. Reviews. Okay, we've talked about reviews, but if you want to get found for those near me searches, I guarantee you've got to be making sure that your reviews are spot on, right? You want to continuously get reviews to your site on GBP and other platforms as well, not just Google Business Profile, Yelp, Facebook, and so on. And you want to respond to all reviews in a timely manner. 24 to 72 hours is optimal. Again, the sooner, the better. Do not let these things sit. Don't let them wait. Again, you might miss a couple here and there. I mean, I've had a few that maybe I saw it and I forgot it came through on a notification. And I forgot about it. I was going to get back to it, never got to it. And oh man, I went back 3 weeks later and there it is. I'm like, oh man. And I'll reply there. The other thing that you want to do is make sure that you're sending out these consistent review requests to customers by email or text using your GDP review link or your QR code. All right, so if you're actually going, let me open up. Let's go here, I guess. There we go. So I'm just going to put in my Steve Scott. I'm going to put Tap SEO. All right. So if I go in and take a look at my ask for reviews, right, you'll see I have this little review link right here at this G page and this kind of funky thing here. And I can copy that. What I like to do is I make a forwarder, a subdomain forwarder to this URL. So it's easy for me to remember. There's no way I'm going to remember all of that, right? Upper and lowercase characters. No way, right? So I've actually created a link. I make a subdomain called google.tampa-seo.com. And that actually forwards to that URL, which then forwards and pops this thing up and asks to leave the review. What I like about doing that is, and I do this for our clients as well, is it makes it really simple for them to remember what the URL is. It's just google.theirwebsite.com, right? The other thing, of course, that you can do, and you see probably a lot of this, I see this a lot when I go to dentists and doctors and other things like that, is they have a little QR code, right? Little thing. You can now download this QR code, and when you take a picture of it or you view it, it's going to take into this location as well. So these are all pretty cool things that you can do. And again, the description, by the way, is in the profile. If you go to edit profile, you see the description here. If you edit, right, you see the suggest description. That's going to be your AI. Just got in under that 750 characters at 687. Again, it could be more, but you want to kind of use as much of that as possible, all right? And use those descriptions wisely, right? Get those content. So reviews are important, and you want to encourage your clients to upload their own photos and or videos along with the review that they're posting. It's going to give you a better shot at getting found because it's going to cement you in as being more of an authority. And reviews that include photos tend to remain prominent longer in the review sections, and that actually can improve your perceived credibility. So it sticks up at the top more often. So you want to keep a steady cadence to feed the recency signal that appears to influence local pack rankings over time. So again, it's not about quantity so much as it is about recency, quality, right? You want to have a number of reviews recently. Don't hey, you got 100 reviews, great, and then stop getting reviews. I was just looking at a site the other day, and it had one review 10 months ago, and the other 400 reviews were a year plus ago. So probably somebody was managing that process, and they stopped managing it, and no more reviews. So even though they had really good reviews, a lot of them, because they haven't had any recently, it's more likely that a site that is getting them more recently is going to get found for the near me side of it. So you want to aim for consistent recent reviews that mention specific services and neighborhoods organically. Don't script the wording, but you can, when you ask your customers for a review, maybe you can kind of guide them a little bit. Hey, mention what we did for you and where we did it, in your review if you can. Kind of ask in a way that makes it sense, but don't script it. Now, reviews are super important because Google often will pick out words out of a review left by your customers and display it in the search results. These are called justifications, all right? And they do add persuasive context for service plus location terms. These are small snippets under your listing in the local pack, such as their website mentions roof leak repair, or provides AC installation, or customers mention pressure washing. And these actually come from your website, from GBP posts, from menus, like if you're actually a restaurant, maybe your menu, from services that you have on your site, on your GBP, from your inventory, like your products, and even your reviews. So these things can make a difference, and they can pop a little bit. And so for GBP, those justifications, you want to make sure that you're ensuring your services and your menu or your highlights. Again, that's going to be for depending on the vertical, right? Menu is not going to be on a service company, but it is going to be on a restaurant or something along those lines. You want to make sure those are accurate. And so provides or on the menu justifications can appear. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But you want to encourage those customers to write detailed reviews about the specific service they received. And review justifications can be powerful for conversion. On your own website, right, you want to use exact service terminology in headers, in your body's copy, your content, image alt tags where appropriate, no stuffing it in there, especially on service and city pages, right? So we have a service page for the specific service that you offer, or you have a city page for a specific city that you do the service in. You really want to make sure you're putting in those service names, nearby, putting in the city names as well where it makes sense. This just helps Google justify showing you for that service in that area. You might see something that says their website mentions, and there's something there. Write comprehensive, user-focused content that answers service-specific questions and include local project examples and media, before and after photos if you're a roofer, right? Things of that nature. And these pages are going to fuel those website mentions justifications for your GBP. Here's them in the wild, okay? So I did something for brisket near me. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click on it, see if it's changed at all. Brisket near me. Oh, I'm sorry. Appeared over here. There we go. Now we got some people looking to buy brisket, and then there's Hungry Heart. Look, fast service, great brisket, right? The brisket was super tender, literally fell apart. Brisket is cooked so well that the fat becomes candy. Okay, so these are part from reviews left by users. Sometimes it says website mentions this or website mentions that or provides Kind of depends. But in this case here, the word brisket is not in the name of the company, but because I add brisket near me, it's showing up a company's barbecue, and Hungry Harry's is one of my favorite right up the road. Um, that brisket comes into the local search. So again, brisket near me, and it feeds up Hungry Harry's. And now I'm getting hungry for brisket and Hungry Harry's. I haven't had it in a while. And then here's if I go barbecue near me, a little bit different. I still have Hungry Harry's, but this is not centering on those, they're not showing any of those keywords there. So it kind of depends upon the specific location, specific query as to what's going to happen. But those justifications can make a difference. And you can see here, the last time I ran this, I forget what day it was, but it said the brisket is kick butt. Brisket is very tender, very, very good brisket from these 4 places. So these justifications do show up. They come from GBP from your website, so you want to make sure that you're really providing great information or to get those. Now, products and services can also be added to your GBP, and you want to make sure that you're adding relevant products and service detail to your GBP. And you'll find this will depend upon the kind of business that you're in. Let me go back to Temp SEO. If I go to manage the profile here, there we go. I've got products and services, right? So if I go to product, I don't know if I have any products on this page here. No, I don't. But this is a new get started for products. You can go in here and you can add, the name, the category that the product's in, the price, the description up to 1,000 characters, the landing page URL you want people to go to. You can put a photo here as well. So you can kind of do a bunch of things there. You can also do services. If you go to services here, and these like internet marketing service, we've got different services here. Each one of these you can go in and optimize the information for. And these are things we're doing a lot more for our clients. Got to do a bit more for ourselves apparently. But you want to go in and, if you do site optimization, right? Well, what is it? What's the price? Give you a description. All is going to help. So you want to be able to use these features, products, and services to do that, right? For products, it's going to allow your business to showcase what you sell with high quality images, a detailed description, pricing, and links to the pages on your website so people can purchase it, right? It's highly effective even for service-based businesses who can creatively frame their services as products. Like, for example, a home inspection company could create a product listing for pre-purchase home inspection, right? With a branded image, detailed description, what it includes, and so on. So it comes off like as a product with pricing on it. And service, same thing, right? Gives you a full list of services. Google's constantly throwing more of these at you, and you want to get rid of any ones that don't have value for you. But a detailed service list does help Google match the business to very specific long-tail search queries, which increases the chance at being shown to a user that has a highly specific need, right? Tankless water heater installation instead of just plumber. And so you can use these services and these long-tail keywords as well to fit in there. We've actually started playing with this by going to Google Search Console, looking up those near me searches and other terms like that, and seeing things that we want to get found for that are service-based, and then pulling them into our services in our Google business profiles for ourselves and our clients, filling out the information and trying to get found for someone types in tankless water heater installation near me, right? Because again, it's implied near me, not always just if someone puts the near me in. Now your photos. Photos are also really important, right? You want to continuously add fresh photos to your listing. Don't just upload a bunch when you first get your listing and then stop. You want to upload regular photos, especially if you're like a service business and you're doing before and after kind of stuff. That's great. You love those. People love before and after stuff. And if you sell products, good photos from the products that you sell. Maybe somebody buying a product, maybe somebody using your product. Those kind of things all be very helpful. You want to get your customers to upload photos and or videos along with their reviews. Super important, super valuable, can really make a difference there as well. And you want to name your photos with the city, the town they were taken in. Now, geotagging your photos, people have asked me about this, and we used to report that it was a good idea. I did a lot of legwork on this again, just to double check, because you'll get mixed messages if you just do AI side of things. It's not. And I remember this being the case. Geotagging your photos has no measurable impact on your listing. It's not going to help you rank better, as Google actually strips out all that location metadata from the photos as it's uploaded. So limiting any potential use for embedding coordinates into photos. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but honestly, you probably get more value out of naming the photos, with the service location that you're doing it in, because it can understand the name of the file as it's being uploaded better than putting a geo coordinate in there. More with photos. Visual content has a staggering impact on engagement, right? Businesses with over 100 images in their GBP receive 520% more calls and 2,770% more direction requests than the average listing. So if you're not adding photos on a regular basis, do so. I've been preaching this for years. It's a big deal. It makes an impact. It makes a difference. Also gives you an opportunity to continually use and integrate and interface with the GBP backend system. So not just for reviews, but for profile photos as well, right? Make sure to upload notice a continuous stream, not one and done, of high quality photos that showcase the business's exterior, interior, the team at work, your products, your services in action, and so on, okay? Include photos from different seasons. Maybe you're up north and you have your winter and summer months, right? That can help tell a more complete story and signals an ongoing activity. That's the important part here when it comes to GBP. Ongoing activity. It's not a one and done. It's not a set it and it's not Ron Popeil. You don't set it and forget it. You got to manage it. You got to work on it, okay? And videos even more potent, as they often autoplay when you're scrolling through a profile in Google Maps, which can really grab attention very effectively and make people stop on you. Now, besides reviews and photos, posts are also important. They've recently revamped their post area. It's been called updates in the past. You had different things, like COVID updates as well. But Google Posts are basically short, timely updates that function like a social media feed directly in GBP. And I say like because you are not going to use Google Business Profiles like another social posting tool. You're not putting up, your blog posts up there. You're not doing any of that kind of thing, all right? There's actually a great article I really point people to a lot from Darren Shaw over at WhiteSpark on how to do Google Posts the right way. And people do this wrong a lot of the time, okay? This is a place where you want to certainly be publishing regularly, right? Weekly is a really strong signal to Google that your business is active and engaged. Again, same thing. Reviews regularly. Recency matters. Photos, more review. More interaction, more conversions, right? And posts, same thing. You're using the system. Google wants you using their system, that you're active and engaged with the system, with Google Business Profiles. And these posts can be used to promote special offers, highlighting a new product, announcing events that you may be dealing with or doing, or promotions, or showcasing a great review, right? We use those a lot for reviews, letting people see, someone posts a really great review, we might pick that out. And each post should include a compelling image and a clear call to action. This is the new interface, right? If you actually go to the post now and click on it, you'll see something that looks like this, showing all of your posts and what the status is and when it was created as well. And then you can go in and look at the details of it, or you can hit add new post and you get this pops up, and now you pick the update, the offer, or the event type of post, and make sure you're using the right ones. And it's a good idea to kind of mix this up a little bit too, right? If you're having an event going on, you're going to be appearing somewhere, you're going to be at a home show somewhere, right? Or you're sponsoring something, maybe do something with that. An offer might be, hey, you're giving a discount. If someone buy, hey, new roof, get X, Y, or Z, for free, or spend $500 and get $50 off your installation of a, or something, whatever. Use those descriptions, add those videos or images to that. Get videos or images to some of these. So videos work really well, still have, consider using those. And of course, add a button, right? Learn more, discover now, click here. Those kind of things are going to show up in that button area. I believe if we go to post and add a post and go to offer. Yeah, so here's a title, a description, a start and end date, certain terms that you can add here, images or videos, and the event is going to be more about the start date and time. And again, you can go to button and pick like the button that you want to choose. You can kind of pick that as necessary. Okay, so that's the updates. Again, you want to do these, generally speaking, about one a week is a good sort of thing to shoot for, but at least a couple a month. Go for one a week, I think is going to be your best bet. Your hours are really important, and this also changed back in late 2023. Google confirmed something that they call the openness factor, meaning, are you open? We talked about earlier, right? When someone does a search, it's become a much stronger ranking signal for non-navigational local queries. So you want to keep your hours accurate in GBP and on your website. They got to line up and they got to match. You can't say you're open 24/7 on GBP and then you're only open 9 to 5 on your website. Those got to match. Accurate hours impact visibility due to that strengthened openness signal. So you might instantly think, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go 24/7, but that can be a problem if you're not open 24/7. And you also want to make sure that you publish special hours for holidays, seasonal schedules, things like that, right? So I went to the brewery that I do some work for. They recently, for the summer, closed. They're closed on Mondays all the time, but they recently closed Tuesdays as well. And so we had to go make sure we updated that information about Tuesdays. We had other clients that are expanding their window of accepting phone calls and even onto the weekends. And so we had to make sure that we updated that information on their website as well. So they got to match, they got to line up, because if Google sees a sort of mismatched information, it can be a problem. Now, Bright Local, another company that does the local stuff, I love their tool. I've been using it for many, many years now. You got to make sure that Google, they found that businesses generally rank higher while they're open. And that makes sense, right? If you're open, you're more likely to be seen. If you're closed, they're less likely to show you because you are not open, right? If someone's looking for the near me, they're kind of looking for it now, and you're not open, they're going to show someone that is open. Now, it's kind of a problem. It's always been a double-edged sword to myself and some of the other SEO folks out in the field, especially the local folks. It's like, well, look, let's say I just get home from a long day at work. It's 11 o'clock or something, right? And I got a date tomorrow, and I want to go find a nice restaurant to take somebody to, and I'm looking for something near me, but they're closed at the time, right? But there's another place that's open, so it's like I'm not going to be able to really see the restaurants near me because they're not open. So it can be a problem sometimes. I don't love the idea that that you're sort of being penalized for being closed, right? When some people are searching for things outside of the normal sort of business hours. I mean, most home service businesses, they're kind of 9 to 5ers, 8 to 4, 8 to 6, whatever it may be. But if you just get home from the office that you work out and it's 6:30, you've eaten dinner, now maybe 7 o'clock, you're sitting out at the computer because you've been trying to get someone to fix your thermostat, and you're looking for something, you might not get found if your site is not marked open, let's say 24/7. Now, some categories, fast food in particular, saw a mean lift of 2.4 positions during open hours, while 24/7 listings didn't necessarily gain an advantage. However, I have seen most folks that do go from 24/7 to like a 9 to 5. It's made a difference. It definitely has, especially with that local showing up for those local searches, those near me searches, they pop. And you can see for the majority of the different tools here from the Bright Local thing, outside of opening hours versus inside of opening hours, a definite increase in getting found, right? The light green here is open, the dark green is closed. This is sort of like, the average map rank from 10.9 to 8.5, from 6.9 to 6, from 13.9 to 13.3. Almost every single one of these had more people ranking, had a chance of being ranked when you're open than when you're closed. So consider when you're open, when you're taking phone calls, because that could have an impact on whether you're getting found for those near me searches outside of your hours. Now, Q&As are also important in GBP, all right? Really important. You got to create and or respond to Q&As from your customers. This section lets anybody publicly ask and answer questions about your business. And if it's ignored, it could become a liability, especially if there's inaccurate answers being posted by a user, someone that's been to your website or knows your business. But when it's managed proactively, it can become a really powerful SEO and customer service tool. And the best practice that we use for our clients, as well as we recommend to others, is to seed your own questions with clear and helpful answers so no one else answers them for you, or perhaps responds in a way that you don't want them to, right? This allows you to control the messaging, helps you provide useful information upfront, and naturally include keywords to help with rankings. It also improves your visibility in AI-powered tools like Google's Ask Maps, which pulls data from GBP. Now we're seeing this is sort of dying out. I've seen some reports that Q&As are going away completely. I still see it here. I don't see them as much. Here's none here, but some verticals, I'm not seeing them anymore. So if you don't see Q&A, it could be this. I'm not sure if they're getting rid of it completely, if they're just changing verticals. But if you have the Q&A available, like I said, seed it with some really good questions that people that you get asked a lot, and put from clear, helpful answers. This is different than an FAQ page on your website, right? This is the Q&As in local search. So it may be things like, do you have handicap parking? Do you have this? Do you have that? Make sure you're being very clear and concise with that. Now, when it comes to Google Business Profile supremacy, right? It requires a commitment to maintaining a living, breathing profile that is continuously sending a stream of positive activity signals to both search engine algorithms and to your potential customers. So maximizing near me visibility is about clearly signaling what you do, where you do it, and why you're trusted across your Google business profile and your website content, rather than simply putting near me words on your pages, although that can help too. All right. Your priorities to capture those near me demand is relevance, right? Choosing those best primary categories, which is the strongest ranking lever, I should say. Fully build out your services, align with what people are actually searching for, pressure washing, roof replacement, AC repair, etc. Adding all those available secondary categories, right, which helps you appear in a wider range of searches. Your distance, right, recognize that proximity is now more heavily weighted, that you have to be closer to the people that are searching for. They have to be closer to you, one way or the other. You can't set a bigger radius and expect to rank across the whole metro. It's not going to happen when there's other people in that same area that are much closer physically to that person that's searching. Instead, you want to build localized relevance via your content, those justifications we talked about, any local signals in the area you want to win. This is the essence of near me competition in 2025. Remember prominence as well, right? You want to grow your authority with consistent, fresh reviews, high quality photos. Newer reviews help sustain rankings, and keyworded reviews snippets can appear as justifications, which are trust builders. And though the keywords themselves aren't a direct ranking factor. All right, so remember that. But keep earning recent reviews to stay competitive in that 3-pack and keep those hours accurate, right? Including special hours. Don't falsify hours. Google warns that this could lead to suspensions and the signal is being actively updated. So they're changing this around a little bit. So be aware. So that's your GBP. Well, what do you do with your website for near me searches, right? Well, having a mobile-friendly website makes it super easy for your best customer to find what they're looking for quickly. Think speed, securely, right? HTTPS, that's secure. It's safe and easily, right? User experience. Want to be able to see it, get it quick, fast, easy to find, easy to look, easy to navigate, and so on. Doing this will make a difference in getting found. Also, be sure to optimize each page of your website, which includes title tags, meta descriptions, H1 tags, anchor text, image alt text, URLs, etc., and use the term near me appropriately within some of these tags. Now, we're not saying shove the word near me, nearby, near you, near us everywhere. Not saying that at all. But I am saying that a relatively well thought out, naturally sounding placement of a near me, and near you, and nearby into title tags, into your descriptions, where it sounds legit, sounds like it's well worded, well written. These can have benefit, okay? Although Google says don't do it, we've already seen tests that say it works, all right? And think about how often you're out and about and use your phone to search for something near you, right? I mean, just this last weekend, I used voice search to ask Google for restaurants open near me, bowling alley near me, parking near me, and sports bar with outside seating near me. I was out in the New York metro area visiting old friends. The more mobile-friendly your site is for your visitors, the more they will like it and think positively about your business. So mobile-friendly, major impact, okay? Other things to help with those near-me searches. You got to make sure that your contact page and that your website lists your physical location and address on your website or your contact us page, or both, all right? Make sure that your name, address, phone number, your NAP is consistent with what's in GBP. So if you've modified the name in GBP, make sure you modify it on your website too. You don't want to have two different things going on. It's got to be consistent, especially those two things. And you should put your full address in the footer of your website if you're physically located in the town that you want to appear in. This has been shown to be an effective at moving the rankings up, according to a study by Sterling Sky. I saw this report they did in a few months already, and they made it quick little. They were doing some testing. They just put the full address of the location for the GBP into the footer. So now it's on every page in the footer, and rankings pop automatically for the city that they were in. So again, not going from page 100 to number 1, but it will make a difference in moving the needle. If you have multiple physical locations, right, you're a place with like 3 or 4 or 5 locations, then you want a page on your site for each of those locations, and you want to include all pertinent information into that page, including your name, address, and phone number, and embedded Google Map, and so on. And then you want to optimize each of those pages by making sure that you include the city and the town's location and state, abbreviation in your titles and your descriptions, and somewhere in your body. And don't forget to add appropriate structure data to all those pages as well, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Directions are a great way also to put you to your physical location on your city location pages or contact us pages. Include directions from the north, the south, the east, and the west. You can kind of get more generic. From the north, take, I-95, I-75. From the west, take I-4 to this and go here. Good to have those things in there on the pages, especially if you have multiple locations. Adding those, linking out to the maps as well can also boost the near me thing, because they kind of know exactly where you are, right? This is going to add road names, intersections onto your site's content, making it easy for users to find you if they're in their cars. Also, it lets Google kind of understand better where you are. And you want to consider using the results that Google Maps gives you, so it matches exactly with what Google would provide a user. All right. Also, a really good idea. And it's also a good place to include any landmarks, marks, or places of interest here as well. I've actually noticed this. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I've noticed Google doing this as well, where I was going somewhere and it said, turn right after the Dunkin' Donuts on the right. And I was like, wow, I didn't know it actually referenced another business as I was coming up on it as a reference point or a landmark to make a turn. It's like, wow, that's super helpful. And so those kind of things can also help your users. And again, anything you do to help your users, Google's going to like. All right. Adding city or town specific pages. So you want to create pages on your site that are focused on the various towns and or cities close to you that others may be looking for. One page per city or town is ideal. Here, for example, we actually created a service in each city and town. So I've got here cleaning, driveway cleaning in Bradenton, right? And as I pop that up, we've got some of these local service ads. Now, the company I'm working with, they don't have that in that location, but it's Premier Pro Wash and Sales, my client. You see they're in the AI overview here. They're in the AI overview here. They're even mentioned here and have a link to it right there. It's super helpful that way. Now, they're not in Bradenton, so not going to really show in the local listing because these guys are literally in Bradenton. You see it there. And then down below, people also ask. You have some discussions on Facebook, and there's a Yelp listing, a Wow Genie, and then they're showing up there as well. And that's the Bradenton, Florida listing as well. So good stuff right there. This is great. They're showing up in AI. They're showing up top 3 because of this very specific focused city, town, and Bradenton. And you can even see it if I go to this page here. No, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong one. Go to the page. Here we go. There we go. Notice that this is the service area is Bradenton, Florida, and we have a service for driveway cleaning. We have before, during, and clean. We got some pictures promoting lasting durability. Right. This is some of the information about the professional driveway cleaning before and after. Whole bunch of stuff here. The truck, right, showing workers working, all the kind of stuff that we're talking. Here's like the how-to, like step by step, what they do, and so on down the line. So you want to add unique local information about things like directions, local landmarks, neighborhood names, the history of the area, maybe area FAQs, places of interest in the town, original photos, and embedded Google Map if it makes sense to do so as well. All of these give more help to Google and give you a better shot at getting found for near me. Generate local content, right? Regularly, once per week is ideal. Write a blog post about the various jobs that you've done in the different towns you want to be found for, right? So I have local clients that travel to perform services at client sites, paver sealer, AC repair and maintenance, dog trainers. By writing about the job, the town, the work you performed, even adding some images of the job, you can once again let Google know where you are and who you served, right? And those pictures can be a big benefit. So again, having content, maybe a blog post talking about, paver sealing in Bradenton, showing paver before and after, talking about what they did, maybe talking about some of the other areas. Maybe they went for lunch somewhere beforehand. You can just mention things about it right there, just to let Google know what's going on. You can also try interviewing local influencers in your area and then publicize those to your site. It's possible influencer will also link to your blog and potentially expose you to lots of other potential customers. We've seen people do this a lot. People doing podcasts as a way of sort of an influencer, being on a podcast or having your own podcast and bringing people on, interviewing people that are in the industry, in the business, equipment manufacturers, if you're into, if you're a service-oriented business, all those things can help. Other website additions is working on adding internal links, right? Linking to your site from other parts of your website, right? Internal links are links from one page on your site to another page of your same site. And then using town names and or services or products in the anchor text of these links can also help get found. Okay, it's internal linking from one page of your site to another. So link from your home page, maybe your category hubs, to the service and city pages using natural anchors, or maybe in the content, roof leak repair in Tampa. It can go off, it's got to be within context, obviously, but that can go land them on a Tampa page about roof leak repair, or just generally roof repair, right? But this helps increase discoverability. It helps Google connect service intent with locale for those GBP justifications. It can help you get found better for near me searches. You want to add structured data to your website. Again, we've got a whole class on structured data in our membership area. I don't want to get into that, but you do want to add the local business or your specific subtype of a local business, right? There's like auto business, then you've got like car dealers or auto repair or things like that. That could be a subtype. And it's called JSON-LD. It's a script with at least a name and address, plus your opening hours, your telephone, your URL, your geolocation, your price range. And since you probably don't know what the hell that is or how to do it, the best way to do it is with a tool. Here's a free tool from technicalseo.com. It's a schema markup generator. You pop it open. You can pick the tool that you want. I'm going to go ahead, for example, and pick local business. From here, you type in, the type of business. So if I said automotive business, as I mentioned, here we go more specific: auto body, auto dealer, auto parts, auto rental, auto repair. A few others here. So it just depends. If you go to like some like home service kind of stuff, let's go with home and construction business, right? You go here. Here's more specific: HVAC, house paint, or lot. Let's go with HVAC, right? What's the name of the company? What's the URL? The image, usually we'll pick the logo. What's the URL of the website? The phone number, the price range. You can just go like $sign too if you want, You can do something like that. We've all seen that. What happens is as you are filling this out, I'm just putting garbage in here, right? Street 123 Main Street. I'm not going to fill the whole thing out, but you can see here that as I type this information in, the script is created for me. And all I got to do is copy that script and paste that into the page where it makes sense, right? So if I have a page on Bradenton, I would want to paste that page into the Bradenton, that local listing in the Bradenton page. And then once you're done with that, you want to validate it with Google's rich results test. You can just type in Google's rich results test into Google. And when you get there, you can see here that there's a rich results test. And you can simply just type in the URL that you want to test, or you can put the code in that you had and check it that way, right? I didn't copy that code, so we're not going to do it there. But I will just check to see if you've got it right, if it's working right, and if it's accurate or not. Love doing that. And there's a full listing of things that you can include for the search gallery. I always recommend that you guys go check this out. Look through all articles, courses, discussion. Even down at the bottom here, you've got like videos, reviews, recipes, Q&As, FAQs, a whole bunch of stuff. Figure out the ones that you need, especially organization and local search, local business. Those two in particular are big. I know when I put in the job posting one onto my system, I wound up getting a ton of leads from Google, from the Google business. What do you call it? Their jobs posting. Very, very cool. I really wasn't expecting it, but it really took off pretty quickly. So interesting how that works out. All right, and then if we go back here, check out that structure. And then according to local search company Sterling Sky, right? This is about adding the words near me to the site. Okay. They've done a ton of testing on optimizing for near me terms like plumber near me, and they have found that adding instances of near you, nearby, near me to the content of the page, including those meta tags, it does have a position impact on ranking. So Google says don't do it, you shouldn't do it, and you certainly shouldn't shove the word near me into everything that you're doing. We're not saying that by any stretch of the imagination, but it does help if you include that near me stuff somewhere within the documentation as you're going through this. Okay, so definitely consider putting that stuff in there. In all different places. They have found that it has a much more drastic positive impact on organic ranking and traffic for near me than it does for local ranking and traffic from the 3-pack. So it does have value. And the big directories, they're also using this, implementing it into their title tags. I mean, I did home inspector near me. I actually kind of looked to see if this was still working. Where is it? There it is. And going into here, Here, home inspector near me, right? In the third spot. That's Lair of the Lakes, home inspector date. Here's a home inspector near you. This is actually using an in Wesley Chapel right there, so it's a little bit more specific. So yeah, there are people looking for these directories and looking for things and actually using near me in, titles and description. Here's a title here. Find a certified home inspector near you, right? That's on NACHI, the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. So definitely helps to do that, okay? Don't force the terms near me on your website though, right? It's hard to insert the phrase near me into your website in a natural sounding way. So do what you can to make it work, and then try not to focus too much on doing that, and instead do everything else that's discussed above, all right, that we talked about already. Some additional ways to optimize for near me, some basics here. One is optimizing for AI overviews, right? You saw us get the Premiere Pro into the AI overview, and this integration of this generative AI into its core search product represents the biggest shift in information retrieval in years in Google, and it's just going to get more and more, right? So you want to start optimizing for this now because it's a critical component of a forward-looking local SEO strategy. To do that, best bet is provide users with a synthesized AI-generated answer at the very top of the SERP, aiming to satisfy complex queries. That's what Google's doing right now, the AI overviews, right? You want to get in there. And to be included as a source for these overviews, your business's content must align with Google's highest quality standards. That means creating people first, helpful content that demonstrates strong EEAT, which is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, okay? So that involves writing clear, concise answers to common user questions and using structured data like FAQs and a how-to schema to make the content easily digestible for the AI models. The more of it you do, the more likely you're going to get into those AI overviews. Also, Ask Maps is a newer feature, AI-powered conversational feature within Google Maps that they've dubbed Ask Maps. And this allows users to ask detailed natural language questions directly about a business within Maps. And this feature prioritizes information pulled directly from a business's Google business profile, its official website, other online trusted resources, and it really makes it a comprehensively filled out GBP and a robust, accurate local business schema implementation on your website, an absolute non-negotiable. You've got to do this, folks. You can't just say, oh, I'll do it later. If you want to get found for near me, you've got to use these things, right? So businesses with incomplete profiles, no structured data, or no content about it, you're going to be invisible in these new discovery tools. Don't forget about social media, right? Be sure that your business is listed on all the major social platforms. Make sure that your NAP and URL are consistent, although it's not the big deal it used to be. Have those name, address, phone number, URL consistent across the top sites, including GBP, Facebook, Yelp, Apple Maps, Bing Places, and LinkedIn. Those are your big ones. Yeah, it's okay to get other citations in other places, but again, having exact NAP on every single one is just not the big deal that it was. I double, triple, quadruple check that, and that's still the case. So remember to get reviews to some of the other websites as well. Don't just focus on Google business profiles. People look at 2 up to 3 different places for reviews. So Facebook and Yelp are the 2 other big ones. Yelp is fed into, and Facebook, I think, go to Bing. But people just go directly to Facebook and Yelp, and those 2 themselves show up organically in Google. So really a good idea. Make sure you're pushing reviews to Facebook, Yelp, and Google as well. And if there's any opportunity to add additional city names or areas that you serve into these listings, do it. Make sure that you write about your products and services as they relate to your location and the cities and towns around you. And of course, use your business description fields or options, looking for information about the owner's bio or education, just to enhance those listings further with geo-targeted information, okay? And then geo-located backlinks, if you can acquire a backlink with a geographic qualifier in the anchor text, so someone links to you, let's say maybe a dog groomer, types in Tampa dog trainer and links to a dog trainer website, or some listing of restaurants as Italian restaurant Atlanta Lakes and links to that Italian restaurant, or best craft brewery in Wesley Chapel. Now be sure that you use topic drift if you're getting these links. You don't want to have every link say the same thing. So Wesley Chapel craft breweries, Wesley Chapel, Florida. Variations of the same basic idea is what we call topic drift, so that you're not using the same thing over and over and over again. You're mixing it up. It's more natural. People look for things slightly differently. So again, change it up as you're getting those links back to your website. Get listed in local directories, right? Search Google for directories or business listing sites in your town that you can list your business on. And it's an easy little tool. You can go in title Tampa plus directory. You can put your town in there. Here's in title Tampa plus directory. If I go there, I get here's the Tampa directory on Facebook. Here's shop small Tampa directory, Tampa Gov. Something from Instagram. He has Tampa, Florida business directory. This is a staff directory of City of Tampa. Beaches directory. Obviously not getting in there. Tampa Bay Chamber. And the Chamber, good place to be listed would be there. At the premium outlet. So there's a bunch of them here. You can kind of go page 2, page 3, page 4, and look for other directories. And if you've got a 2-word phrase you're looking for, like Tampa business directory, you can do that. Or maybe you're looking for a 2-word city, like New York, put it in quotes. That's the only thing there. And get that. Also, think about partnering with other local businesses. I mentioned the dog trainer and the dog groomer, right? That's great. Maybe write a piece of original content for them, and they'll likely promote it, link to you, and put their audience in front of you. Maybe vice versa. Maybe they can create content for you that's unique content for yourself that can maybe help them explain what's going on in their business, and you can share some business, maybe get some new people. So dog groomer mentioning the dog trainer mentioning the dog groomer, or writing about that can really help. I know my ex-wife, who's a dog trainer, a lot of dog groomers would recommend her because they would have this dog that would be really unruly when they were getting groomed. Then they would get trained, and they'd go to the groomer, and it'd be like a totally different dog. And the groomer would ask the owner, what happened? The dog's like, completely different now. And they'd mention she's been trained, mention the trainer's name, and sure enough, the groomer is now recommending their clients who have unruly dogs to that dog trainer. And so, granted, there is a synergy that works really well without any kind of direct competition there. Or maybe even write something for your local newspaper, right? That can create really a lot of authority. A lot of those little local small papers that go out once a week, sometimes once a month even, you become part of that community. You have a link on a local news site. All of that helps with that authority, with that prominence, with that trust, okay? Some final thoughts. After that vicinity update, you win near me, not by saying it, but by being it, right? So being proximally relevant at the exact moment of search with the clearest evidence that you perform that service in that area right now. To the algorithm, that evidence lives in your GBP's categories, services, hours, and reviews, plus your website services, location pages that supply the website mentions and justifications that Google will pull out sometimes. This is how you show up as best AC repair company nearby when a homeowner system fails at 9:30 p.m. on a humid Tuesday, and when you don't need to, but probably should, right near me on your site to earn that click. So again, not shoving near me everywhere, but you definitely want to incorporate near me where it makes sense, in a thoughtful way without overdoing it, and it will help with some of those rankings. There you have it. Those are our top strategies to optimize for those near me searches. I know it's a lot, but it's a lot of factors in there, right? Doing all the stuff that we talked about is really going to have that impact. And that's what we covered, right? What are near me searches, those expectations you just have, the search trends, some of those search factors that are important, some of the statistics that are going on, and then we've got those top strategies for optimizing for near me searches. All right. I have a whole list of resources here, both from Google, from some of the other mentions there, Sterling Sky, Local Falcon, Bright Local. Those two are both tools for local. A few other ones in there. I even have at the bottom there, Brian Lawrence is actually someone that I trained a bunch of years back. He's in the wedding industry, and he's got a book out as well. And he has a little case study on some of how his clients have changed simply by adding the words near me into the content, how it's made a difference in getting found as well. Okay. A few more quick things. I have a new boot camp coming up for Google Search Console. All right. It is a 2-day boot camp. It's going to be 2 hours from 1 to 3 p.m. on the 9th and 10th of September. It's $49 to claim your spot. We'll also have a free Q&A session on September 16th. That's Monday, where you can ask me anything about it. We're going to cover everything about Google Search Console that there is to know. We're going to go top to bottom, everything you need to know. So I highly recommend that you come check it out. If you are not showing up on Google, wondering what's going on, and Google has been delisting a lot of content from your website, if you really want to get a better handle on that, I encourage you go visit my website at ssseo.pro/GSC. You can see it right there. It will take you through all the information where you can go ahead and claim your spot for $49. If you are in our membership already, you can wait. If you don't want to come to the live one, this will automatically wind up in the membership area at some point in time, just maybe a few days after we do this. So if you don't want to be live and ask questions there, you can wait on it. But again, I would recommend you guys come out, check it out, come sit with us for a couple days, ask your questions, bring your Search Console access as well, and you'll be good to go. Don't forget also about our All-Star membership program. 2 levels of program, both the $97 per month and $197 per month. Basically, the difference is access to me, amount of it, live access as well. We have over 80 hours of content. We keep adding to that. We're going to be adding the Google Search Console coming up. We're going to be adding our content marketing masterclass as well coming up. We're going to be closing in on 100 hours of content. Everything you could think about, all broken down into different topic areas. If you need to look, check them out. And I've got a great deal for you guys as well. If you go to mvplifetime.stevescuttseo.com, you're going to get our $197 per month program at the $97 a month program. So you'll be saving over $1,000 a year if you go for it now. You get all the access here, all the information in $197, but only for that pro access price. Go to mvplifetime.stevescuttseo.com. And hopefully this was helpful to you guys. If you did find it helpful, then I would encourage you to go ahead and potentially, I'd love it if you would go ahead and leave a review, whether that be on Google or Facebook or any of the other ones as well. I'm going to go ahead and plop that into the chat room there for you. Reviews really make a huge difference, as I mentioned. If you guys, maybe you've already left me a review on Google, go leave me one on Facebook, go leave me one on Yelp if you got it, all right? If you have a specific question, you need to reach me or just need some help, go ahead and reach out to me at my number here, 888-SEO-STEVE. You can also just email me, steve@stevescuttseo.com, or book a 15-minute free consult with me, finding some time on your calendar that works for me. We'll do a quick Zoom, ask any questions that you may have. And then also, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love it if you guys would join my newsletter. That will keep you up to date on any new topics that are coming up, any new information. We're starting to try to put together more information about changes that are going on in the world of search on a regular basis, and kind of keep you informed of those tips, maybe point you to certain places where you can get some additional information if it's not from us and from other good resources. So go ahead and newsletter.stevescuttseo.com. And if you have any thing that you want to know about what's on our calendar, you can go ahead and find out at calendar.stevescuttseo.com. This will fill you out on everything that's coming up in the near future. It's an older slide, so I don't have everything in there. But the next big one is going to be the Google Search Console item there. So check that out. And then lastly, I would love it if you guys, if you haven't already, go out to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We've got a couple hundred videos out there right now, closing in on 300. We've been broadcasting live this whole time as well. I don't know if we have any questions from that. I'll get a look at that in a minute. There we go. And I think that's it, folks. Yeah, that's it. Are there any questions? I haven't seen any come in. Let me see if there's any in the Q&A. Here we go. All right, so I got one question here from Kat. Hey, Steve, you mentioned using branded images in products. Is that just having a logo on there somewhere? Should a logo ideally be displayed on all photos? It is about having a logo on there. Just the only thing you want to be careful of is if your logo has like your phone number and URL, you don't want that on those post images. Those can be kind of considered no good. So be aware of that. And then another question was, could it be helpful to list cities you service on the contact page, or does it not matter if you do that in footer? Have your GBP map on the contact page. I would definitely include it on the contact us page as well. It just because, again, most people do not scroll to the bottom of the page, and it is helpful for the user to know that you service that area. The downside of that is if you, let's say you don't have an area that, although you service it, but you don't have every single city and town listed, and someone's in that city or town, they might not think that you service that area. So maybe add a caveat like, and surrounding areas and surrounding towns, something like that. So if somebody were to hit that, they would at least know that while their particular town or city might not be listed, that there is still, that you can still work with them, or that they can work with them. All right. Well, guys and gals, I appreciate you guys coming out. As always, hopefully the Stop Losing Customers Searching Near Me webinar has been helpful. Hopefully you got some information out of that. I know we went a little bit long. Can't help myself. That's what I do. But hopefully you got some value out of this, and I thank you for joining me and the rest of my team. And I will see you guys at the next one. Have a great one. Take care. Have a good day. Bye for now.